this. And if you guys have any questions, I have a couple questions on Typeform, the survey that we have on their announcements. But I really want to talk about today the new trend, the new things that are working, the things that are not working, coming along to 2026 when we're talking about funding and also credit repair. Overall, we're here to help you make more money. So, guys, drop questions as I go on to here on Zoom on that type form. When we're talking about the trends, the industry trends, how marketing is looking, how ads are looking coming in 2026. And yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's get this party started. Again, of course, guys, these meetings are always recorded. It's recorded with Fathom. Fathom is an AI software, so you can always go to the end of this, use it with like a chat GPT, attach the transcription, and be like, what did Blade say about X, Y, and Z? And it gives you nice plans. All right, let's get this party started though. Are we getting everybody on here? Sweet, sweet. All right. All right, let's get this party started. So I'm going to start this off first by talking a little bit about funding trends, and also next one is going to be a little bit about credit repair trends. The first thing I want to go over to is going to be, if you guys have not taken a look at our welcome presentation, everybody gets this, whether it be for funding or for credit repair. We're always updating this, putting the latest things that you need to take a look at. But let's rock and roll with what's going on in the market, what changed on this welcome presentation, what's changing with ads, what you need to stay on top of, and how to just make it more profitable. So we're going to organize this conversation into revenue-based funding and also credit-based funding. The last time you take a look at this, maybe you changed it maybe a week or two ago, but there's a couple of changes onto here in terms of just being more specific on the type of people you're trying to attract. Maybe you guys have heard this in the past, maybe you guys haven't, but the AI, the Andromeda effect, the Andromeda update, it's all based upon the AI literally scanning your ad and sending out to those it resonates with. So what that really means is that Facebook is turning into a massive adoption to be able to be ultra user friendly so that everybody can just run their own ads. What you're going to start to see is that, without this year, maybe into the next year, there's gonna be a lot less options for that interest-based targeting. So if I were to pull up my ad account here really quick, let me just make sure I'm not on someone else's really quick. Okay, so let me go to mine. Now I'm gonna talk about what I mean by here. All right, so what I mean by this is, let me share my screen again. So in this ad set level, typically you would do like your interest-based targeting right over here. You would press edit on here. That's manual placements over here. Interest-based targeting, you would include like loans or like credit repair or credits or Equifax or things like that. What I'm saying is that this over here is getting shifted into not even being relevant anymore. All this over here, the age, the gender, the interest, demographic, behavior-based targeting, all this stuff, well, special ad category, not really using a lot of those, mostly just interest-based targeting, but a lot of that is becoming obsolete nowadays. And it's really, really becoming based upon what you put in the ad and sending it to those it's going to resonate with. And I can't stress that out enough. So how do we do this? How do we target these higher ticket deals? How do we attract bigger deals to us? How do we start bringing in $1 million approvals? This is exactly how we do it. You want to attract, so it takes the same amount of time to close, same amount of energy to close somebody for a $10,000 funding deal than it does to close somebody, honestly, for a six-figure funding deal, or a 500K funding deal, even for $1 million plus. So might as well be specific with the ads and attract those higher end deals because the AI is so incredibly powerful. You can quite literally pluck those people out. And what a lot of people are doing now is a lot of people, they just shoot out the ad to everybody. They shoot out the ad to mass people, to generally just directly shooting out to everybody. And that doesn't really work anymore. And the reason being is because shooting out your ad out to just everybody, making a general ad that goes out and attracts everybody, it forces you to bring in, yeah, cheap leads, cheap cost, but a cheap cost per lead doesn't necessarily mean more money in your pocket. So rather than just trying to focus on just getting this lead cost over here cheaper, what you actually should be focusing on is rather than getting a cheap cost per lead, focusing on getting a super high quality lead so that the marketing expense almost doesn't even matter. So if you take a look at my account over here, I'm probably spending maybe 100, 150 bucks a day. Um, for the new year. Usually I'm at around 200, 250. What I'm saying though is that I'm perfectly willing to spend $87 per schedule. This New Year's, let me see, did it go up this New Year's? Let me look at yesterday. What we're looking at yesterday was up $50 per schedule. What I'm saying though is I'm perfectly willing to spend $9,700 per schedule. I'm not willing to spend $300 per schedule, but I'm willing to spend $100 per schedule. The reason being is because we know our numbers, in which case we're closing at least 20 to 30% of them. What that means is that for every $200-300 that we spend, we're bringing in a new agency client for us. That's how we kind of had to treat our ads. We need to start moving into 2026, really honing it down into our numbers, really understanding, what ad attracts what type of cash. Rather than optimizing your campaign to just getting cheap leads over here, we need to optimize the campaigns to attract super high quality deals, super high level deals, so that the amount of money that you're spending on marketing is almost doesn't even matter. Let me kind of give you an example over here. Like this ad account over here is for my agency, for my team. It's because we sign NDAs over here, but I'm perfectly comfortable showing my account. What I'm saying though is that within this, spending $100 to just hop on a phone call with somebody, for some people, for the untrained person, might seem absolutely ridiculous. It might sound crazy. But if you think about it, guys, I'm charging $2,500 like minimum for the entryway to be able to get into my agency. If I'm closing at a 20-30% rate, let's say $100 per schedule, let's say I spend $300, let's even say I spend upwards of $500, even $1,000. I'm perfectly willing to do that because the type of clients that I'm attracting are super higher, wealthier type of clients, and these clients are gonna pay me the great money and also stay on for a while. So we need to tailor our campaign out to, rather than just having these like spontaneous approvals and attracting everybody into your funnel and then spending a whole bunch of resources, reaching out to every single person that was in your funnel. Rather than that, we need to make sure that we're attracting the high quality people into our funnel. So we spend less time on the phones and more time actually just closing people that are very serious. So this funding campaign over here, let me go back over to here actually. Let's go back into what we want to be able to use in these ads. What we want to actually be able to put into these ads to be able to attract these high quality people. And we continue to talk about how the market shifted a little bit over here. So I always go about this filtration. You can be general with an ad and generalize people and decrease that cost per result and probably decrease that quality. And you can also filter people out, increase that filter people out, increase that cost per lead, increase that cost per result, but also you're generally filtering out people to increase that quality. So in order to do things like this, you want to be able to call people out. Call people out that are financially capable and motivated. Or if we're going more so credit-based funding, they got to have above a 680 credit score, above a 700 credit score, maybe a 10K credit card limit, and no more than 1 or 2 derogatories. Well, you need to say that in the ad. You need to completely say that in the ad to be able to attract financially capable. The next thing you got to attract is you want to attract motivated people. Motivating people as people that maybe recently gotten denied, people that need to catch up, things like that people like that are going to be people like that are a lot more motivated. It's going to be overall just be a whole lot easier to close for you. Now transparency. Oh, hi, yes. So I'm bringing this up because we want to make sure that we're always adding these characteristics into all of our ads, and it goes as far as to what we're saying over here in the ad, and as well as what we're having the copy in the ad, as well as the environment that we have right now. I'm not dressed up too crazy right now, but to attract financially capable people, you might want to have like a collared shirt, button down shirt, maybe as far as a tux as well too, or a nice suit. Boom. So you want to make sure that you're just ultra specific on how people are trying to track. Another thing too is I was doing a couple of ad audits with a couple of clients of ours, and I want to show you this one. But I thought this is pretty cool. I'm gonna switch around. I'm gonna go into credit repair over here. But let me show you something else that we found. Is that when it comes to credit repair specifically, credit repair has a lot more saturation than funding, I'm finding. In which case, credit repair, you need to be even more specific than funding. I was running a ad previously with the client, This doesn't have any names. Cool. This one doesn't have any names. You can pull it out to the side just so you guys can take a look at the ad. And I highly recommend we doing this honestly quarterly. I do this in my business quarterly as well too, but we need to do more audits on the type of people that we're attracting. If you guys aren't already using our marketing brain, you need to be using it, right? You need to be using our marketing brain. But we were doing a quick ad audit of a client's ads over here for credit repair. Let me pull this up. And we were trying to figure out why the lead quality over here was a little bit lower than normal. And what we love about ChatGPT is that it literally tells you everything. It literally gives you all the answers. But what we find is that we really, when you talk about credit repair now, we can't be too direct with it anymore. Everybody that runs a credit repair business, immediately the first thing that pops up in their mind is like, yo, I gotta run credit repair ads. So rather than going along with that saturation and really competing against everybody else, we got to do things a little bit differently. And what I find is that in order to do things a little bit differently, and let me pull up my notes over here really quick. In order to do things a little bit differently in terms of like these ads over here, we'll pull this up here really quick. Okay, cool. I wish I can zoom in on this a little bit more. Oh, there you go. That's better. Cool. Okay. So a couple of things that we need to kind of change out in terms of what we did in 2025. 2025, everything was really about speed for dream home denials over here. You know, we blasted out on the ads, hey, fast credit repair, we fix your credit really, really fast, you know, and then free audits, boom, boom, boom. That is not necessarily trending anymore in 2026. The reason being, I believe, is because everybody is using fast, your fastest credit repair service. And what ends up happening is because when you're competing against everybody, you know, it's everybody's getting hammered with ads, people are price shopping, and it decreases that quality significantly. So for credit repair, we need to be even more specific. So rather than saying, okay, home loan denied because of bad credit, another thing as well too that we can't really say anymore, then I'm gonna go into things that we should be saying now into 2026. Home loan denied because of bad credit. Home loan denied because of bad credit. We're not too crazy about using the angle of just saying, hey, do you have bad credit? We're gonna help you fix it. A lot of the time, what we've been saying too is that, I mean, yes, you can do everything completely right, even as far as having a beautiful house in the background. But because we're using AI, it kind of puts you into a different section. It's weird. It's like an even more saturated section because we all know that we can mass produce AI videos and AI graphics really like bountiful, crazy amounts. So when we're using AI graphics and AI videos, we're competing against an even more saturated market. Everybody is now using AI graphics and they work, they absolutely work, but it only works when you're really, really super specific because the amount of flexibility that you have with AI graphics, you need to be on point. So a couple things, a couple of notes on this ad over here is that rather than just saying, hey, you bad credit, home loan denied because of bad credit a lot of times attracts a little less of a wealthy type of client. Rather than saying that, it or saying, hey, we want to fix your credit fast, we like to start saying and transitioning into um, more so, are you looking to be able to get into your dream home in the next 6 to 12 months? Are you planning on this? So, so rather than being able to attract more so broke people by saying next 3 to 6 months, is adding a realistic expectations. People that are a little more realistic with this, rather than trying to get, hey, I want instant results. You know, credit sweeps have been done. You know, last year 2 years ago, credit sweeps were going crazy, but because legal stuff kind of cracked down on them, and people kind of were coming to their senses a little bit more. Last year, credit sweeps were kind of getting pulled out. We completely stopped doing them. Um, and you can't really advertise for them anymore because it brings literally in like bot people, almost bot-like people. So rather than doing credit sweeps, or rather than saying, hey, you want super, super fast credit repair, people are more aware to scams. And especially if you're using AI, they're hyper aware. So rather than saying, we do credit repair super, super fast, or are really, really stressing and attracting people that have really, really are in a really, really bad shape. You have really, really bad credit. Give yourself a little bit of a buffer over here. Saying things like not necessarily a free, not necessarily offering a free audit or a free dispute, but attention people that are already ready to invest. So attention people that within the next 6 to 12 months be able, they're gonna they're planning out to get into their dream home. 6 to 12 months, that's a realistic time frame to be able to get into their house and fix their credit. We want to attract these realistic people that are serious, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, another example of this is so yes, over here, bad credit. So rather than saying I have bad credit, a better option, a better angle on this is I'm preparing for a mortgage decision. So rather than thinking almost negative and this is the real pain point here. This is the real alpha here. So I have bad credit is, and it's like I guess a psychological tactic. I have bad credit is almost like a victim mindset thing. It's like literally this specific. So rather than saying attention people that have bad credit and addressing people saying that I have bad credit, we want to rather target that. We want to target more so people that are preparing for a mortgage decision, people that are preparing their financial life to be able to get into a better, mortgage decision, to be able to get approved. So attracting buyers rather than victims is what I'm really trying to say over here with these ads. Especially with AI, it's super, super hyper specific over here. Don't attract people that might come off as a victim. Those are just like lower vibrational people. Chances are they're not going to pay you money. So just a quick little turnaround. Let me go back into the welcome doc over here, but let me pull this over into the actual credit repair welcome document now. Because now that we're talking about it. Okay. All right, let's go over here. And then I'm going to swing back over to funding and answer a couple questions that we have on the survey over here. All right, let's rock over here. So, like I was saying over here, we want to make sure that we're attracting these financially capable people, always attracting these motivated people. We want to be able to be as specific as possible. You might have seen a couple of these before. We updated some of the headlines onto here. Deny for your dream home in a gated community is an example. You can afford the home, but your credit score said no. Those are great examples that you should be able to use in your ad. These are always updated. Take a look at these, rock and roll with them. But what I really want to go over here as well too is to do these ad audits over here. In which case you take your numbers. I took my numbers, I took my ads, I took my graphics over here. I took my KPI sheet. I threw it into ChatGPT, and I was like, literally, just give me an audit of my ads. Give me an audit of what is going on over here. I've super, maybe my show up rate is off. Maybe my show up rate wrong. Maybe my lead quality score is a little bit down. Whatever it might be, you can quite literally take that, throw it into our marketing brains that we provide to you guys over here, and it really gives you the specific answer that you really need to fix. It's pretty, pretty cool. So yes, 2026, attracting higher quality people, attracting bigger deals. The person that's willing to spend more money to acquire this deal usually is going to end up winning in marketing. And you can absolutely attract $1 million deals, but you got to make sure you always got to have that person in mind. A lot of people I see, they spend so much time really focusing on to be able to attract higher quality deals. A lot of people, they spend a lot of time focusing on the funnel and the back end and the nurture campaigns and the automations and everything that they have in the back end. But really what you should be doing is you really should be focusing more so on the front end, on the actual ad. Me, my agency, my team, we spend 99% of our time to be able to attract higher quality people on the actual ad and wording it different to be able to attract those higher quality people, those higher deals. And that really all goes along with wording. So what I do quarterly again is we take our calls, we take them all, I take our calls, we take our ads, we take our KPI sheets as in, let me go into something like this. Funding, marketing, funding KPI check that. We take our KPIs here. we take our app grader, which shows the appointments, the show up rates, and the injections, the good fit or bad fit, the any type of cash collected, taking those screenshots, literally throwing to ChatGPT, taking previous sales calls and taking screenshots of clients that we really enjoyed working with, and throwing this into ChatGPT and literally having ChatGPT give you all the answers to be able to how to attract those type of people. The only thing is, I highly recommend that if you're be doing this, making sure that you use our marketing brain over here. We have this TTO builder. Make sure you use this thing over here because this is also optimized again to be able to, you know, it's optimized for the Andromeda update, optimized to attract those high quality people for you. But always making sure that we're looking at this offer, always making sure that we have, when we're running these ads, we're running these ads to attract the type of people that you actually really want to work with, rather than just bringing this low quality deals over here, the lower end deals. Again, it takes the same amount of work to close a 10K deal as though as it takes to close like $1 million deal. Make sure that we're always using those characteristics to attract those type of people. As an example, there's $1 million deals over here. We got people that are franchising out. We got construction companies with 10 or more employees. We can directly just call people out. Attention, seven-figure business owners, like attention business owners making more than 50 grand per month in their business. By saying these things on here, and by being deliberate with the type of people that are trying to attract, you're going to surprise yourself. You're going to find those exact people. Revenue-based funding over here, you literally just say attention seven-figure business owners, attention people that are doing more than 50 grand per more in their business. The AI on Meta is crazy. It knows everything about people because I also believe because it partners up with Google, so people are searching up. It also teaches Meta or they buy and sell data. I don't know. But what I'm saying though is that the more specific, secure up to $250,000. You got the cash flow. You're already making more than 10 grand per month in their business. You're already making more than 50 grand per more in their business. You have 10 or more employees. You have a construction business with over $500,000 in equipment. Say those things in the ads. Oops. Say those things in the ads. That's what you're going to attract. Credit-based funding. Credit-based funding, you got to bring people in with over 700 credit score. Why are you running an ad that does not even say that requirement? That doesn't make any sense. You need to attract those type of people that have those 700 credit scores. So start on the very top, the actual ad, to be able to attract those higher quality people into you. 680 credit score, but still no approvals. You're not the problem, but your strategy is. You built the credit, now let's get you funded. You got the score, why do banks keep on saying no? Let's fix this and finally get you the funding that you deserve. You follow the rules, built the score, got denied anyway. Good credit, zero results. Here's what's really going on. If you're tired of spinning your wheels with denials, you're not alone. So in this, we're attracting people with the higher credit score, and we're attracting people that are also motivated by saying things like, "Hey, by saying things like, hey, recently got denied," by saying things that you already built the score. You built the score over here. That's attracting people that are actually credit score conscious, people that know what their credit score is, people that have higher credit scores. Those are the type of people we want to attract. 2026 is all about being ultra specific on the ads and attracting those type of people that you really want to work with. It's crazy. It's almost pinpoint accuracy. What if you set the system up right? The system is really Andromeda updated, really based upon two things. Honestly, it's really based upon two things. The AI scanning your ads, sending it to those it resonates with, and sending data back to the pixel based upon what's actually converting. If you're able to attract the right type of people and then teach the tracking how to attract more of those right type of people, you're going to quite literally have a money printer this 2026. And it's a different feeling, honestly. It's an awesome feeling because if you have this feeling where you can just flip a switch and just increase the ad spend whenever you need to bring in more money to your business, it's honestly the coolest thing. But don't get me wrong, it's completely different, running an ad and closing somebody compared to, closing someone off a referral. Referrals close 99% of the time. I love referrals. I'm so happy with referrals because that's it's like a no-brainer. Boom, I'm gonna call them. Don't even have to hop on a Zoom with them. Sometimes, most of the time, I'm texting those people and closing them. But it's completely different than running an ad because when you run an ad, these people have never seen you before. So it does take a little objection handling. So in 2026, as you're going through these and as you're building out this ecosystem, building out this client acquisition systems over here, make sure you do a couple of good habits and still good habits. Obviously making sure that you're attracting the right type of people into your pipeline, so you're not spending, hundreds of man hours qualifying everybody in the back end, really trying to find the deals that are good deals on here. Making sure that you're sending your pipeline, your ecosystem, only healthy people that you actually want to work with. Otherwise, you're just filling up your pipeline with stale leads, with leads that just won't convert, won't make you any money. And nobody likes that. Nobody likes dialing, 100 people and nobody responds. Nobody likes hopping on a sales call and nobody shows up. We don't like that. But if you're able to attract the right type of people, you're going to significantly minimize that. So attract the right type of people into your ecosystem by using these characteristics, by using that AI marketing brain. Attract the right type of people. Make sure that you also have your ecosystem, your system set up to then teach the pixel what data is good. If you're just optimizing to get you a cheap cost per lead, like if you, I showed you guys my ad account. If I turned off one of those ads because I was like, yo, I was scared of spending $100 just to have a phone call with somebody, yo, that would have been crazy. Oops. That would have been crazy because these ads are super ultra profitable to me. Again, I'm closing 20%, 25%. I'm not even an amazing closer. I'm just honest. I just talk to people. And people buy from those that they like. I'm also kind of a little funny sometimes. Can be a little corny. But what I'm saying is that if you're afraid to spend $100 for a sales call, this might not be the game for you. This $100 for sales call, if I'm closing 20, 30%, and I'm charging $2,500, yo, that's printing. If you're doing funding over here, funding you maybe you charge a setup fee, maybe you even charge $1,000. Let's say you even charge $1,000 a setup fee, or it's credit repair. Let's try that you're booking in calls. Let's say these calls are coming out even at $100. Let's say the calls are coming at $100. You're selling something for $1,000. Okay, and you're closing at 20%. You spend $200 to acquire $1,000 client. That number, first of all, the fact that you know that statistic is beyond most people. Most people don't know those numbers. There's a true fact. And the second thing of that is that's an awesome campaign. That's making you some considerable amount of money over there. Spending $200 just to close $1,000 client. Yeah, you are only making 800. Obviously, profitability and stuff like that is relative. But also, that person can then be flipped into a funding client or into a mortgage. You're going to make affiliate commission on there. That person with a good experience can then also send you in more clients, more referrals that are just no-brainer, easy closes as well too. So first thing, attract the right type of people into your ecosystem, that people that you really, really want to work with. Let me give you one example over here, then I'm going to continue. But recently, what I did in last year compared to this year is that last year, excuse me, I was running my ads and I was really attracting just every Joe Schmo for funding. And I wasn't really too crazy about that because yes, my cost per call was around $50, a lot cheaper. But it wasn't really it because most of the type of people would end up going into like my software and I want people to go high tickets to make the most amount of money into my agency or into my mentorship or into my partnership acquisition program, which is a crazy product. What I'm saying though is that I used to run an ad like this. Let me see where this might be. And then we can kind of all it's okay. We can set the pros and cons of this. You can be real with me. Let me pull it up. So, okay. This was one of my previous ads over here. We run credit repair ads. And the other one was just like we run funding ads. Yes, it was doing phenomenal. I was making some really good money. But because a lot of ads, I have a lot of competitors. You all have a lot of competitors. It's okay. That's healthy. It's business. It's abundant. But because there's a lot of competitors, that means a lot of people are doing what we call more so like direct response, as in, hey, put up an ad, boom, problem solution, call us. And a lot of people are doing that. But because it's just problem solution, call us, it's not really specific on the type of people we're trying to attract. It's kind of getting into a saturated market. So this was working last year up until like 3 or 4 months ago, and it was really, really profitable. Closing again, maybe probably good 20%. But then what ended up happening again is that a lot more people kind of came to the market, a lot more competitors, and this happens. It's okay. It becomes a little more saturated. Facebook started to reward more creatives, more specific creatives. I had to switch it up because I noticed that my lead quality was starting to drop. My average revenue collected per deal started to drop. and I wasn't too crazy about that. Again, I wanted to really push everybody into my high ticket program, into my partnership acquisition, into my agency, or some private consulting. So what we did is we optimized the angle to attract higher quality people. So rather than just be like, hey, attention funding business owner that wants to run ads, that's attracting people that wants to run ads and not already running ads itself. I want to attract the type of person that's already running ads. Like my ultimate client is somebody that's already running ads, that's profitable, that needs help becoming even more profitable. It's the easiest thing because he already has a system that's solid. He already knows how to close, and all I got to do is probably fix a tracking or implement a better creative system or implement whatever it is, iRoast or something like that, and I can just make some quick money over there and help them out a lot tremendously because it might just be some small information that they're missing to this puzzle that completes the picture and makes them wildly profitable. But what I'm saying with this is that in order to attract those type of people, those higher ticket clients, the people that were completely willing to pay me five, $10,000, $15,000 plus for solving what I think relatively are simple problems, you need to be specific in tracking those people. You can't just run an ad saying attention people that want to run a funding ad, or for credit repair, attention people that needs to fix their credit. Attention people with shitty credit that want to get approved with their dream home. You can't do that anymore. Attention people that just wants to get funded. You can't do that anymore. For me as an example, let's pull up one of mine here. Let's pull up this one video. The one's doing the best so far. Let's talk about it. Start 2026 with a real funding system, $1,000 deposit. First off, right there, boom, price, $1,000. That scares away most of the people that aren't running ads already. Retainer starts when ads go live, boom, boom, boom. Price is a little bit different now. Start with a real funding system. So that price in itself attracted a whole different persona for me. The next one over here is, let me look at this one. Your system is broken. So what this does is it calls out specifically somebody that's already running ads, but might not be as profitable as they really want to be. Attracting people that are already successful, but that is missing one smaller switch in their system that can become a lot more wildly profitable. This is me getting paid a lot easier, is what I'm trying to say, and a lot more profitable for these higher ticket clients. The people that are already making a lot more money, they're willing to pay a lot more. So for the credit pair, as an example, credit pair, again, we got to make sure that we're attracting not people that just have bad credit. We want to make sure that we're attracting people that are in an active stage of a mortgage decision. We want to make sure that we're attracting not victims. Hey, I have bad credit. We want to make sure we're attracting people that are buyers. I'm prepared to get a mortgage, but I need help. Right? With funding as well too, same thing with that. We want to make sure that we're not just attracting people that, hey, I need to get funding, because those are people who are just going to price shop. Those people that are just looking for free information. We want to make sure that we're attracting people that already have a 700 credit score, that are making more than $50,000 per more in their business, that is struggling to keep up with payroll, that has growth and expansion, that's about to blow up their business because they found a high converting ad, that has a government contract, but because of their credit, they can't get the funding that they need to get that crazy equipment. Those people are a lot more wealthy. They're a lot more motivated, and it's so much of an easier sell, especially when it comes to paid ads, because you already know you're competing against everybody in the market. And we're going to just a couple of survey questions, but I want to do one more thing over here. I want to talk about this. All right, let's talk about this really quick because this is going to kind of just solidify what I'm talking about here. I put this post out. I think I posted the post out yesterday. And this is what this is saying over here is that the ebook or $97 front end isn't a funnel, it's a trap. And you can make a similar ad. I mean, excuse me. The reason why I'm bringing this out is because it explains that we should not be using some sort of ebook or a freebie or a $97 thing to attract people into your business for something high ticket. And the reason being is because when we put out an ebook or a freebie or a $97 offer, it's relatively it is a cheaper thing. It's $97 is one bag of groceries for me. That relatively it is cheaper. When you attract these cheaper people, it's going to be a lot harder to be able to ascend them into higher ticket things. And I know everyone thinks, and I put this up on Discord over here, is that everyone thinks that, yeah, I'm gonna put this $97 offer out, people are gonna pay it, it's gonna pay for the ads, and then once you already bought something, I'm gonna upsell them into some sort of high ticket, whatever it might be. But it usually becomes just a big mess in the back end, and then take it for somebody that has ran a lot of them and run them successfully. It's just a lot of support in the back end, a lot of convincing on the back end. It's because the people that are coming in from this ad, they're not the highest quality. They don't already have the money. They're going into something for just because it's cheap, because it's a cheap price. Those are not the type of people you want to try to attract in 2026. Let me pull up Discord over here because I do have a couple more notes on this that I want to talk about with this. Yeah, no taking it just attracts noise. Yeah, so what we need to do, rather than attracting low quality people like this, we need to switch out the system. Keep the system super simple and attract higher quality people. This is only going to attract people that want free shit. You don't want to really work with people that want your free shit. It's a mess with support in the back end. It takes a lot of convincing to be able to send these people. And most of the time, the people that are already coming in to something that's cheap, they don't have the money to be able to buy something super high ticket from there. It don't. It's a rare case. So rather than doing something like this, change around your wording, change around your messaging. This over here is going to create two different businesses. This over here is going to create one business that you already have for your referrals, for your regular funding or credit card business, and it's going to create another business which is just a whole bunch of noise and a whole bunch of distraction, which is going to be this freebie, this low ticket to high ticket funnel. A whole lot of support. If you're not providing support, you get a whole lot of chargebacks, and it's a mess. Focus on one thing first. Focus on what's actually going to make the most amount of money with the least amount of work as possible. Honestly, that's a simple freaking call funnel. It's a simple call funnel, making sure that we have conditional logic so we only operate on calls with people that are actually qualified. It's a simple call funnel with a nice thank you page to make sure people are actually showing up at least 70% of the time. It's all those nurture campaigns that you set up to be able to nurture people that submit the survey but don't schedule out the call, push them into there. It's a simple funnel so that when you mark them as missed a call, boom, it shoots my emails and text message to be able to reschedule that. All that can be done with Go High Level, but making sure that we're attracting the right type of people is above all. That's literally above all. Spend 90% of your time attracting the right type of people into your business, and you're going to be a lot more profitable with it. Let me go into a couple of these questions here really quick on Typeform, and then we're going to end it out. I gotta run to a family thing. All right, all right. Quick second here, guys. Let me pull up Typeform. Oops. All right, all right. And while I look at these questions on Typeform over here, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to drop it on. We got yo back. Drop it on the chat. Okay. We got two questions here. What's the best way to start an ad? Honestly, the simplest. Honestly is the answer. Whatever's the simplest, you should always be advertising, whether it's as small as $5, $10 a day, whether it be as high as $1,000 plus a day. You should always be advertising. Just the ability to be able to have consistent leads come into your business for you to be able to, call up and make some quick sales over there. Whenever you need some quick cash injection is ultimate. It brings you an intense and incredible amount of confidence. The fact that you know that you have a system in the back end that you can literally just be sleeping and you have qualified calls hopping on your calendar. I'm assuming this is just your business over here. I know you're not on the call right now, but thank God this is recording, Miss Brown, because we got yo back. The easiest way to run an ad is honestly, first of all, keep it very, very simple. Super simple. The simpler it is, the better it's going to perform for you. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're already consistently posting content. The reason why is because you want to know what actually converts for your business. Every business is different, every offer is different. And like I was talking about in this video, offers change, angles changes as the economy, as things change in the world, the way that we advertise is going to change as well too. Again, we can't really advertise like fast credit repair anymore. We gotta make sure that we're only attracting decision makers, buyer ready people. So you want to make sure that you're already posting content. Once you're already posting content and you see that a specific type of content is bringing in the right type of person, that's honestly the type of content you're probably going to boost. Put some little bit of money behind that post. That post that has significant more engagement than the rest, that is what you would want to start out with. And for the simplest thing that you can do, let's say I'm assuming Miss Brown, yours is a credit repair business. The simplest thing you can do because you're dealing with consumers is you can just run what's called an IGDM campaign. You can go into your iPhone, you can boost an ad. If you go into, wait, let me go into my Instagram really quick and I'll walk you through it. The ad copy. If you go to any post, there's always a button that says boost post. On the bottom right of every post, it always says boost post. And I would just set it up just to create conversations. That's the most simplest way to be able to do it. Bring a bunch of conversations, set up some sort of DM automation so you get notified as soon as the lead comes in. Because when we're dealing with consumers, it really is speed to the lead. When we're dealing with business owners, you got to get them on the calendar. Business owners are busy. Consumers, working 9 to 5. They have a little more free time to be able to, excuse me, they have a little more free time to be able to text. But the most important thing is when you first starting out ads, and actually had a call this morning about it. I was doing a mentorship with somebody trying to get them cash flowing their first couple of bucks to paid ads. And I was telling them is that when you first start out paid ads, your main priority is to prove that ads will work for your business. Your main priority is to really get that cash flowing first. So whether that means that you would have to maybe self-finance a little bit a deal, whether that means you have to hustle it out, as in heck, maybe even offer some sort of little bit of a discount or something, or whatever it is, you need to prioritize cash flow when you first are running ads. You need to show that you can actually generate income from ads before you start scaling things up. Once you're able to actually bring in some income, then you can kind of play around a little bit with the funnel because you have more options. Once you bring a little cash in, you're proving that ads work. Now you have a little more options. That's awesome. Take those options, you can put it back into ads, or you can start now building out a proper team with appointment setters and closers. As you're starting to scale up, though, you don't really want to change up the funnel. You really don't. Every funnel works. Honestly, you can do a DM campaign. I love that because we're dealing with consumers. You can do a lead form into a scheduled call that works for consumers and with business owners. You can do with business owners as well too. Just with business owners, you always want to schedule a call. But what I'm saying is that once you have a funnel and you're bringing in leads already, changing out the funnel, going from a lead form to a DM campaign to a call funnel, like a funnel or a VSL or a webinar, every single time you change that, it's a whole new learning curve. When you ever have a whole new learning curve, that just means expenses to be able to learn, to go over that learning curve. And it dilutes your energy as well too. If you already have like a lead form ad that's rocking and rolling, it's doing well, switching that lead format to your webinar, think to yourself, like, will that necessarily make you more money? Chances are it's probably not. Chances are going from a lead form to a calendar over to a webinar, it's going to take a whole new learning curve. So don't necessarily distract yourself with what funnel is the best, what ninja ad strategy should I use, all these different technicalities. Again, when I was first talking about how Facebook and Meta is going to mass adoption for all users. With mass adoption for all users means where they're taking away a lot of the technicalities. They're making it easier and easier for everybody to be able to run a paid ad. That means just overall just more money for Meta. It makes sense. Now, with that being said, you don't want to focus on those technicalities anymore. You really don't. You want to focus 99% of your time in attracting the right type of person to you. Whether you're using a lead form or a webinar or whatever, that's not going to affect quality at all. That's just how the lead is coming in through you, how you're taking in that lead. But if you're taking in that lead, however way you're taking that lead doesn't matter. What really matters the most is you taking in the right type of person into your business, something that you can actually close and make money with. That is where 2026 is going. Another thing, so yes, you can boost ads from your phone directly. You can also use Go High Level. They have a three-step AI ad launcher. Honestly, I recommend watching a YouTube video. We did a previous strategy session on how to do that, how to use that AI ad launcher as well too. So, Ms. Brown, that should help. If you want Miss Brown as well too, don't hesitate. If you have a couple of ads, shoot it over to us. Highly recommend not reinventing the wheel though. Just take a look at the welcome presentation. Take a look at the scripts I already have on there. Copy and paste it. Use our AI marketing brain because when you're making a new script, you really want to use the AI marketing brain because it already has pre-programmed how to attract those wealthier and also motivated people. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And Nickers, new target open. Okay. Next thing over here is that when you're first running an ad, um, what should I do with the interest-based targeting? Okay. Interest-based targeting, what it really does is just limits the reach of your ads. It limits the reach of the ads to what you put in the interest on there. If you've refreshed new account, add some on there. Add some interest-based targeting, for its credit repair, dream home denials. We usually do like first-time home buyers or homes, or we do like Zillow or nowapartments.com. We do there's like a Zillow homes.com, and then we use the narrow button and we narrow it out to um, I'll show you in a second, Albert. And we narrow it out to people that also look at credit because we narrowed so it's like people that look at homes narrowed down to people that also are interested in credit as well too because they looked at the credit and they're interested in homes. It kind of lines up, makes sense. What I'm saying is that when you first have a new account, you don't have too much pixel data on it. You should use some sort of interest-based target on there to further limit it. It's going to decrease that cost per lead as well a little bit if you go compared to going general. But then as you're starting to scale up, you do want to remove some of those interest-based targetings. As you start to scale up, you're going to find that the cost per leads will start to increase, and it only increases when you use the entirety of that audience. When you run an ad, you're bidding to be placed into a specific audience. It's like an audience pool right here. But if you put your ad in this audience and your ad has been seen to everybody within that audience, naturally that's going to increase that cost per lead because people have seen it multiple different times. It's less likely for them to convert. It just feel like a little bit more like spam. So when that kind of happens, this is like after $200 a day, after $300 a day, you want to make sure that rather than having a specific interest-based targeting, you actually start to blank those out or remove some of those. This way, rather than limiting the reach of the ads and limiting it to this specific audience for homes narrowed down to credit, you want to take that out and have it sent out to even more people and rely more on the AI sending out to the right type of people. And again, this goes back into the tracking, making sure that you're teaching Meta how to attract the right type of people into your ecosystem. People that are actually closed, people that actually have the money, people that actually are motivated, etc. And again, that comes with really good tracking. To be able to answer your question, Albert, I got you. The AI ad launcher. We can share this. It'll be here. Go to marketing and you go over to ad manager. It makes it very, very easy to launch an ad. Again, most of your time really should be focused on actually making an ad. This stuff over here, I'm gonna reconnect my stuff real quick. Let me go back, social planner. About reintegrate. Again, most of the time should not be spent on the funnel. Most of the time should not be spent on a lead form or a webinar or so much time in the ad account. That doesn't really matter anymore. It's mass adaptation. Let me press reconnect here and I'll show you. Mass adaptation, as in that doesn't matter. You want to focus on just attracting the right type of people. Let me press reconnect over here and then I'll show you really quick how to use it. It's pretty simple. Go here, go to Ad Manager. And right over here, if you select on, why is it not letting me select Meta now? I always do this one. Once you reconnect this a few times, it usually works from there. All right, here it is, the app copy. The app is already connected on there, so we should be good. Refresh the screen. Refresh and go high level is like your best friend. Refresh the screen. Let's see, Instagram. What is connected here? What are we missing? App Hub is on there. Do you have the Facebook page? I think we're missing the Facebook page. Oh, I'm running low on what? Battery here. All right, I'm loading this up over here. Quick second, guys. Bear with me. I'm running low on battery. Grabbing a charger real quick. Then all right, we're back. Excuse me, guys. I just was running a little bit low on battery, but we're back now. We're all set. So what I was saying is we just got to connect to the oops. Ad copy. Sweet. Once that is connected, now I should be able to go to the ad manager. It's still not letting me. Weird. Make ad account under make ad account under ad manager settings. Okay, so a few things have changed. There we go. Ad account. Whoops. Setting stuff up always takes a little bit longer. But now once you get the ad account, connect the Facebook page. Turn to the bottom, press save. Awesome. So now that's connected. Go back. Meta. Next. Start from scratch. I don't like using their ad manager templates. The AI on it isn't always the best. Using the TTO builder in itself, honestly, performs. All right. Lead generation, you always want to use a special ad category. Financial products and services. So the difference between here, actually, let me talk about this. Lead gen and website traffic and engagement. Traffic you can kind of use for retargeting. I'm not too crazy about this. It optimizes for the cheapest cost per click usually, so usually brings in lower quality people. So I don't always recommend this going cold. I recommend that most likely going like retargeting, where you just the cost per lead doesn't necessarily I mean the quality doesn't necessarily matter because you're going to people that already seen your ad before. So if you're going cold, first round of the campaign, either lead gen, engagement, I mean, yeah, sales as well too. Lead gen you can send over to a website, or lead gen you can also use a lead form. Engagement is where you would more so use like a DM campaign, in which case people can just open a conversation with you, or there's also another option for like an automated chat sequence. Let me go over both of them. So let's go lead gen first. Lead gen. Dun, 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 dun. Add set. Again, if you're first launching out the campaign, let's say we're going, let's say we're going funding denials as an example. Here's your credit funding denials. Under interest over here, type in loan. There we go. Loan. Another good one will be line of credits. This is more so for like credit card stacker 0% interest things. So loan, line of credit. We have another one that we typically use, but this is good for now. Oh, another one could be like credit cards. But then again, too, if you're using revenue base, you might not want to use credit cards or line of credit. Name the campaign. If you want to do, well, name the ad set. Always make sure you have a good habit over here. What I do is just loan, LOC, and then credit card, just so you know that we were tracking here. And the next thing you want to go is the next one over here, which would be open up this button. You want to go to the actual ad. Again, this is the most important part. Most important part really is making sure you have the right type of ad that attracts the right type of people. How you use a lead form or how you attract these people doesn't really matter. This lead form over here, is there another way that you can switch it out to not lead form into a website on here? I think you can if you select the other option, which is the website one. But let's just keep on going with this. Launching like if you're launching a credit pair one, I don't recommend anything less like $30 a day. If you're running a funding one, I'd recommend anything less like 50 to like 60 to even as far as $100 a day if it's funding. But let's say we're launching this at like 50 and say it's a credit pair, denied, recently been denied. Create new lead form over here. Create a lead form. Let me pull this up really quick. Because the most important part on here is that you want to make sure that you have qualifications on here. So you're just not wasting your time. Boom, name, more volume, reading, boom. Use ChatGPT to put a nice greeting on here, make it look nice. This greeting needs to match the ad, otherwise create confusion. Confusion creates hesitation. Hesitates, people just don't buy. Custom questions over here. You want it, this is not the most important part. Most important part is a good ad. But I guess the second, making sure that you're tracking things right. You want to make sure that you have a qualification question on here that is making sure that you're not wasting your time with these people. Things like asking for their budget, how serious are you? When are you ready to get started? You can ask something as simple as like we're doing revenue-based funding, let's say as an example. Um, excuse me. What is your monthly business revenue? And what you can do is under 10K plus 10K, do 50K. Let's just do like 50K plus. Let's say that your requirements for revenue-based funding for like an MCA is under 10K. F it, let's say it's under 30K. Let's say it's under 30K. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you're saying all this form so that if somebody submits something under 30K, you disqualify those people. It doesn't make sense to hop on phone calls with those people. Now what you're doing is prioritizing, which it's right. You're prioritizing the type of people that are actually make sense for your business. You're prioritizing the people that are actually going to make money in your business. So even if people might not answer, it doesn't matter as long as you're closing 10% of the people, you're going to be printing. form fields and mapping to make sure it's connected to monthly monthly rev. I don't know if I do have the cost and value. What is your monthly revenue amount? Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so make sure you set this up. Conditional logic, so it disqualifies people. What's looking like is you're not able to make the form with conditional logic on go high level, which is something that I'm not too crazy about. And filter leads. It could be a little bit glitch right now, but what I'm trying to say, and I can get back to us on this, is that over here, you want to make sure you're filtering out leads over here. You want to make sure that if it's under 30K, it doesn't go to you. It's really the most important part. And then at the very end of that lead form, just have them go in and schedule out a call with you. If you're not able to use a lead form and disqualify people that are under 30K for the MCA, then you're probably going to want to use the regular ad manager. What you can do is on the actual lead form. Am I using lead form on this one? I don't think I am, but let's pretend like I'm using the actual ad manager here. Let's pretend like I'm creating a lead campaign. I mean, to bring in just some cash flow initially, you can rock without conditional formatting. It just means that you really do have to qualify people out. And sometimes that's not the most, it can be a little bit annoying because you're spending a lot of time just talking to random people. But, prioritizing people that are above 30K makes sense. I like to use a lead form on here because if you go into questions onto here, add a question, multiple choice, you can add this conditional logic option onto here. And if we ask the same exact question, which I'm going to save it, what is your monthly revenue? And anybody under 30K, so under 30K slash month, these people you're going to be closing the form with. You're going to be canceling these people out. You're going to be disqualifying these people. Anybody above 30K a month, you're letting through. You might want to add a couple more examples on here, like 30 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to a million plus. There's a couple of examples just to allow you to really prioritize it. But this is, I believe, is very, very important. And then the very end over here, you just take them over to, you got leads over here and you got non-leads. Leads, boom, take them over to your calendar page. You can use a share calendar link. Honestly, I've been finding the share calendar link opposed to an actual call funnel to convert a little bit more because there's no distractions on it. It's very, very simple. And then non-leads, what I always do for non-leads over here is I don't want to waste my time with them. I just do based upon your answer might not be best fit for you. But if you think we made a mistake, you can reach out to us below. Maybe visit website, maybe have them email you over here. And then what I like to do as well too is I press this button, which starts a conversation in Messenger. Pretty much is that when they submit this lead form, it'll also message you with the questions that was already in it. Yeah. So it'll message you as well to start the conversation. But you got to keep in mind too is that when you start this conversation with somebody, if they don't immediately respond within 24 hours, Facebook rules says that it will close that response. So you got to have, if it creates that message and it sends you over the contact information and the pre-qualification questions, you also want to make sure that you have some sort of automation on the back end. So when that message comes in to Messenger or IG DMs, you automatically notify yourself and you converse with them or you set up a nurture campaign that automatically messages them because it's nice to have them chat in Messenger because get those low-hanging fruits. If they're chatting on Messenger, you might be able to close them on Messenger. Boom, saves you time on a call. Awesome. Yeah, so make sure you take people. I like to take them over to schedule a call right after. If you're using the share calendar link, just make sure that the thank you page on it just sends them over to like an actual thank you page. This we can have a video on there, the next steps, and just walks them through it a little bit better. But yeah, I love using this. I use a type form more so for mine because it just gives a little more flexibility in terms of the conditional formatting. But again, when you're first starting it out, just keep it simple. You can even rock and roll with this, but again, I'm not too crazy that it does not allow you to be able to have that conditional logic on here and push out people that don't really qualify. It means you're wasting time, pretty much. Sorry, Vinny, my bad. I missed your question for that video and where that video is located. If you're still on here, bro, let me know what video you were talking about. I forgot what I was talking about in the very beginning of this call over here. But yeah, this is the AI ad launcher over here. If you want to get something out quick, use this. If you don't mind spending a little more time setting stuff up, use ad launcher. ChatGPT, YouTube videos, they're all great. It's not really too difficult to be able to launch an ad directly through here. And of course, just make sure you're focusing on just keeping it freaking simple. Prioritize just keeping it simple. And prioritize also really just keeping track of your numbers. That's also very important too. Eventually, what you want to do is you want to get to the point where you're correlating, cash collected to the lead to the ad. And this way, you're telling Facebook that, hey, this ad brought in this amount of money. I want to push the budget higher on this ad because it brought in this amount of money. The other ads didn't really bring in money. I'm gonna cut those out. That's why I run a very, very simple split testing method over here, in which case test ads have not brought in money yet. Scale ads have brought in money, so a majority of my budget, I usually keep it towards that scale ad set. I changed it up over here as I was making a couple of changes onto here, so I want to even out the budget. That was a little bit different. But what I'm saying is that probably tonight, tomorrow, once I see that these other ads over here play out, I'm going to even out the budget again. I'm going to push this one up back to 100 here, and maybe bring this one down to like 30. Yeah, so another message on here, GHL AI ad launcher video. Oh, I think you're on YouTube. I think I have the AI ad launcher on YouTube and it should be on Discord. Let me double check. It should be in Software 101. Okay. There's one video on it on here. We were doing a podcast on here with Alex over at Credit Automation, one of my clients, one of my good buddies. And during this live call over here, we went over how to use the AI ad launcher and also the social planner. So you can skim around through here. And let me see if I can make your life easier really quick because I do believe I have a YouTube video on it. Booster, how to use Facebook ads. I think this one could be it, or maybe it's this one. A client a day in. So this video over here walks you through how, step by step, how I run the ads on Facebook. This one doesn't necessarily show you the AI ad launcher, I don't believe. So this is how. But this is an excellent video, and this one over here. What's up, credit repair business owner? Another video that I did talk about how to run ads on that ad manager, I believe. I believe in that podcast, the first one was more so about the AI ad launcher. These are actually using the ad manager, yeah, how to set up the ad account and everything. Because even if you use the AI ad launcher, you still need to do a couple of things like set up the account as well too, but you need to like verify the domain. You want to make sure you verify the domain and verify your email. So this will also walk you through that. Let me take how to use Go High Level. How to how to run how to run paid ads. Do this. This one was with Gary, an awesome guy. And then this one over here. Going into the actual setup of the ads account. Goes into setup of ad account. So you might want to take a look at this one. And then, like I was saying as well, too, that podcast. Where did I have the podcast? Podcast was here. Which one shows how to use the AI ad launcher? Boom! Yes, sir. There we go. Well, this shows a lot about Go High Level, but in one of the snippets, we were talking about the AI launcher. So take a look at that as well too. Again, 99.999% of the time, you're focusing on just attracting the right type of person, making quite literally just a better ad. If you're bringing in people that are unqualified, that don't have enough money, if you bring people that are not motivated, you need to make literally a better ad, something that performs a little bit better, something that attracts the right type of people into your business. You know, we were bringing in, this is a client that we were working with for like literally only a month. Shout out Abner over here. And we were specifically running his funding to be able to attract bigger deals, like really higher ticket deals, $1 million plus deals. And it's doing exactly that. I love this because honestly, I feel as though a lot of people are afraid to attract higher ticket deals. I feel a lot of people are afraid to be able to be that guy that's bringing in these $1 million deals. It's only ourselves holding us back. So be that guy that puts out an ad out there, takes that risk to attract a $5 million deal because they're perfectly capable. You see this right in front of you. I mean, I plenty of case studies to talk about it. I got one literally just the other day. This guy just launched his ad and he's doing really, really well. I organized this again yesterday. And he wins, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, this guy over here. Um, what was I saying? Yeah, so over here we're running paid ads over here to be able to for funding denials. In his first month, he brings in 22K. As you can see over here, not a lot of people will put on his calendar. What's green? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This guy's first of all, he's an excellent closer. If only got 9. Actually, no, I got a couple over here. 1, 2, I believe. Whatever, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying though is that if you're attracting the right type of people, you don't need to talk to everybody. You don't need to talk to thousands of people. If you take a look at my YouTube channel has less than 2,000 subscribers. I probably have almost 1,000 videos, but I don't have a lot of people really watching my stuff. If you look at my Instagram, the ad copy has I have two Instagrams. The ad copy only has 5,000. Blade Never Fade, which is a more older ad account. Excuse me, Blade Never Fade, which is an older Instagram account, because I was also doing that back when I was in personal training and construction. But this one over here, this one has 20,000, so a little bit more. But the ad copy only has 5,000. 5,000, I mean, is mainly this is mainly the one I'm using to run ads, the ad copy. Again, only 5,000 people. But those 5,000 people on there, they know who I am. In my YouTube channel, I have how many people do I have on my YouTube channel? It's not a lot, as I'm trying to say. I have probably less than 2,000 people subscribe to me. 1,800. But out of those 1,800, these are all funding business owners already. These are all credit card business owners. They already have a solidified business. Because that's all I'm trying to attract. I'm trying to attract people that already are running Facebook ads that want to make it more profitable. I'm attracting people that are already making some revenue in their business that want to make even more revenue in your business. So rather than people that maybe want to get their first funding deal, maybe start attracting people that are already on their third or fourth funding deal that wants to be able to bring funding deals in quicker, that understands the value of capital and wants to keep on coming in for multiple rounds. Attract those type of people, attract people that are more solidified, people that are more wealthier, and be more willing to pay you more money. Boom, drop the mic on that. But yeah, guys, I gotta run to a family outing. Can I provide any more value before we hop off here? Thank you, Blade. Happy New Year, guys. 2026. Again, guys, I can't stress this enough. 2026 is going to be the year that we're attracting bigger deals. We're gonna be attracting crazy deals. I want our Discord to be the most amount of millionaires in our freaking Discord. And the way to do that, the easiest way to do that is to be able to increase the value of our deal flow. Let's freaking do this. It's not that complicated, but usually sometimes we can get our minds over here. And for those of the type of people that might get in their minds, let me end it off with this. I have something called the assignment. My wife and I, we do this quarterly. It's kind of like it's a little geeky, it's a little corny, but it's a great manifestation tool that maybe somebody wants over here. I'm gonna drop it on to the assignment here. It's a pretty much a manifestation tool to be able to get really clear on your goals and how to get there. It implements ChatGPT by brain dumping your frustrations. Hey, this is what I'm frustrated about. This is where I'm trying to go. This is what I deserve to have in life. And it allows you to be able to just have pinpoint accuracy on what you're trying to achieve and how to actually get there. I feel as though a clearer mind is able to get there a little bit quicker than the average person. So I highly recommend taking a look at this. If you have, I'm sure a lot of people over here have families. If you do have your family, do this with your family. Um, this way you're both focusing on one goal together. It's two minds are more powerful than one, I believe. But take a look at this. Again, usually scaling up businesses, not usually, almost every single time scaling up businesses are pretty easy. It's usually us that get in ahead of ourselves, or us that distracts ourselves, or us that, might hold ourselves back. We don't want to do this year. 2026, we're bringing in bigger deals, bigger, better deals. Let's freaking go. Let's manifest that thing in. I dropped in the assignment on the Zoom chat. I'm also going to throw it under Discord, under announcements, and I might throw it in under I'll throw in our announcements and somewhere over here. Oh, mine's over here. Boom. So I'll throw into here the assignment. If I can provide any more value, guys, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to do a barbecue. Net clear on your goals. That's a good title, I think. Boom. Just want to give a little description here. All right. So this is for everybody on here, guys. Let's start this new year out strong. Happy New Year. We got all the celebrating out. Let's go crush it in business, guys. Enjoy your night. Happy New Year, all you guys. Thank you for being on here for this long, guys. God bless. Any other questions, don't hesitate. Drop it to me. Time is freaking money. So if you need to, you have a quick question, guys, drop it in your individual private chat. Drive it under money chat, public chat. Chances are if you have a question, somebody else probably has the question as well, too. If you want me to talk about that question, throw it into the type form of the survey. That's always under announcements. But as you said, Vinny, God bless everybody. Happy New Year. Let's absolutely freaking crush it this 2026. If I can provide any more value, guys, don't hesitate. Let's make money. All right. God bless, guys. Peace.